With 1 week left of the transfer window, Mikel Arteta wants more signings and Arsenal are making moves. So from Declan Rice to Eduardo Camavinga, let's get an update on a search for a midfielder. We'll also find out about an agreement Arsenal have for their third winter signing and discuss the potential return of Gabriel Jesus. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. Hope you guys are doing sensational, and as we enter the final stages of the transfer window, things are getting interesting. So as per, don't forget to smash a like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 150,000 subscribers. But starting off with Arsenal's brand new signing. After the signing of Leandro Trossard, Arsenal have not wasted any time and they have got their second man in the door. Polish international Jakub Kiwior, who was seen arriving in London to complete his medical and sign his contract. His agent then confirmed that just before the new year, Kiwior had a phone conversation with Mikel Arteta, discussing many details, and he was enchanted. All that was left was the announcement, and it was beautiful. Reminiscing of the Arsenal centre-backs of previous days, Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, and there he was, welcome to North London, Jakub Kiwior, the brand new Arsenal number 15. And for the price tag of around 20 million euros, Arsenal have secured their left-sided centre-back. Also able to play as a left-back and defensive midfield, he started every game for Poland at the World Cup. He was so highly rated in the Serie A. The likes of AC Milan wanted him but couldn't afford him. But that's where enter Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. Kiwior says, "I'm a quick centre-back. I like teams that move the ball and try to create chances." Playing for Spezia in the Serie A, they are a team that aren't really possession-based. It's more defensive, it's more parking the bus. So how is Mikel Arteta seeing the potential? Well, Arsenal have a history, and the prime example is Aaron Ramsdale, who despite getting relegated with Sheffield United, somehow Mikel Arteta was able to identify a top ball-playing goalkeeper. But in terms of Kiwior, Arteta says, "It's great that Jakub is joining us. He's a young versatile defender who has shown huge potential and qualities for Spezia in Serie A and also at international level with Poland." The key word is versatility, the profile of defender that Mikel Arteta seems to love. Look at the signings of Tomiyasu and Ben White, and now you've got the latest and greatest in Jakub Kiwior. Kiwior is said to be a very aggressive defender, in your face all the time. He's not scared of a battle, and he's very aerially dominant. 23 years of age, a bagload of potential, and Arsenal are now building their second phase team. With the games of the Europa League, the FA Cup and the Premier League, elite squad depth is needed, and by spending 20 million euros on a player for the future and the present, Arsenal are showing that they will invest. Is this going to be the latest gem in Mikel Arteta's collection? And keep an eye on the game this Friday, Man City vs Arsenal in the FA Cup. Are we going to see the debut of Jakub Kiwior? But after completing their second signing of the window, who is next for the Gunners? Well, it looks like a right back is on their agenda, and that is because they're about to lose Cedric Soares, as reports claim Arsenal and Fulham are continuing talks over a deal to sign Cedric Soares, and Fulham hope to have an agreement for the 31-year-old by the end of the week. He may be the third choice, but as Fabrizio Romano says, if Cedric leaves, that could pave the way for Arsenal to go for Ivan Fresneda, an 18-year-old Spanish wonder kid playing for Real Valladolid in Spain. Arsenal are making a move, as Fabrizio Romano confirms. They are set to have a new round of talk to sign Fresneda next week, after opening negotiations with both player and club side. Newcastle also remain keen, and Fresneda would be open to a Premier League move. Now in terms of price tags here, we are talking around £13 million. It's very much affordable. Arsenal might have Ben White and Tomiyasu, but they're both centre-backs turn right back. Fresneda is more of a natural right back. He's definitely quicker, and Arsenal see a long-term superstar. And it looks like we've got a breakthrough. As David Ornstein says, Fresneda is now set to make a decision on who to join, having agreed terms with Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund, with the fee expected to be around 15 million euros and a return on loan for the rest of the season. So Arsenal have reached an agreement, but so have Borussia Dortmund, a club renowned for developing top young players. This is going to be a battle. According to Gianluca Di Marzio, it's Arsenal that are leading the race to sign the player. Some claim he's going to Dortmund, some claim he's going to Arsenal, and you may even have Lyon, who are about to lose Malo Gusto. The race is heating up, and as Fabrizio Romano says, no decision has yet been made by Ivan Fresneda. A 15 million euro fee is being requested by Valladolid. Borussia Dortmund are pushing to get it done, and Arsenal have to decide how to proceed in the next 24 to 48 hours. This is not a matter of finances. This is all down to the player. Which club does he see as the best place for his future? And to be quite honest, at Arsenal he's not going to be a starter. Ben White, Tomiyasu, the competition is fierce, whereas that might not be the case at Borussia Dortmund. Things are definitely happening. This deal is definitely getting closer to completion, but where does he choose to go? We're going to find out very soon. Moving on to the search for a midfielder. having signed a forward, a centre-back and now targeting a right-back. Let's not forget about the midfield, as behind Thomas Partey, Arsenal are down to bare bones, as Arsenal continue to assess the injury of Mohamed El Neni and was out to the games against Spurs and Manchester United. So as things stands, Arsenal only have Albert Samuel Lokonga behind Thomas Partey. Is that enough to fight for a Premier League title? So let's talk about Everton's Amadou Onana, 21 years of age, a Belgian international, and Everton are currently in crisis, fighting off relegation, and have just sacked their manager Frank Lampard. So according to Sacha Tavaleri, the departure of Frank Lampard has opened the door of the departure of Amadou Onana. With Arsenal looking for a player of his profile, they are interested in the Belgian, but so are Chelsea and Newcastle. Now Onana is a player that Arsenal have wanted in the past, but having signed for Everton for €35 million, he's had a very sturdy season, and even though he's able to play as a number 6, a lot of his best football has come playing as a more advanced midfielder. So this guy's definitely versatile, a powerhouse in the making who's got a decent pass completion of 85%. This guy is a duel-winning monster, standing at 6'4" in height. He's far from the finished article, but if we're talking about fundamentals, Mikel Arteta would have a lot to work with. And something's definitely happening, as it's been reported that Amadou Onana was not seen at training. Likewise for the wide forward Anthony Gordon, who's also looking to force a move away. This could be an opportunity, and according to reports, Arsenal have made contact to sign Amadou Onana, but Everton want around £50 million for the player. It's expensive, but when you look into the potential of the player and the fact that he was playing for Belgium at the World Cup, the Everton fans love this guy. They don't want him to go, but as Sacha Tavaleri says, Amadou Onana to Arsenal could happen this window depending on what Arsenal will decide as a priority. This is where it gets the most intriguing. The Everton owner Fahad Mashiri has just put the club up for sale. They've just been rejected by Marcelo Bielsa. They are in a crisis, and for Arsenal, if they really want Onana, this could be the opportunity to pounce. But what about Brighton's Moses Caicedo, who according to Fabrizio Romano has changed his agents, and Arsenal are the latest club being informed on the situation. Chelsea have also been pushing for weeks, so they remain keen on signing Caicedo, but the big issue is Brighton, as they want to keep the player. Caicedo has been a star for Brighton this season. He has showcased that he can thrive in the Premier League. Fantastic in terms of ground duels. He's also dominant in the air, winning 70% of his duels. His passing numbers are also fantastic, averaging 54 passes per game at a 90% passing accuracy. The biggest concern here is Arsenal have fierce competition. Say hello once again to Todd Bowley's Chelsea, who have seen their offer of £55 million be rejected by Brighton, and they have no interest in letting the 21-year-old midfielder go anywhere this window. So £55 million was not enough, so how much exactly do Brighton want? Well, according to Duncan Castles, Brighton have placed a valuation of £100 million. I can see where Arsenal have thrown their hat in the ring, but I also believe we're far from the favourites. Now let's talk about Real Madrid's Eduardo Camavinga, a player that's not been a starter at Real Madrid, and according to the Standard, Arsenal had interest in signing Camavinga on a loan transfer until the end of the season. This would have been blockbuster. The thought of Eduardo Camavinga under Mikel Arteta is certainly mouth-watering, but at the same time I was always doubtful. With the injury to Aurelio Tchouameni, why would Real Madrid want to let him go? And now their manager Carlo Ancelotti has spoken, and he says Camavinga is untouchable, just like Modric and Kroos. And just like that, the rumour has been put to bed. Let's talk about Real Sociedad's Martin Zubimendi, who according to reports, Arsenal were willing to pay the €60 million release clause to sign the midfielder in the January transfer window, but the player does not want to leave in the middle of the season. So Arsenal offered to pay the release clause, but the player declined for now. Zubimendi is a player that's 23 years of age, and he's rated so highly by people in Spain. Many people see him as the heir to Sergio Busquets. There's definitely a lot of potential as a number 6. You can see why Mikel Arteta wants him. And according to reports, Zubimendi has already decided that he wants to move to the Premier League at the end of the season and has his heart set on a move to Arsenal. So essentially speaking, Zubimendi has only said no to Arsenal for January, but instead wants to move in the summer. Now Arsenal have a history of signing players from La Liga, the prime example being Thomas Partey, but you also have to look at Man City and Rodri, another number 6 that has thrived in the Premier League. If you were Arsenal, comment down below what would you do? Wait till the summer or sign someone else now? Moving on to the reported top targets, West Ham United's Declan Rice, who according to Sky Cafe, it looks like he's going to leave West Ham in the summer, and at the moment Arsenal are leading the race for his signature, available for around £70 to £80 million. We've spoken about the profile many times, but so have Arsenal, and as Fabrizio Romano reveals, after the Modric story, Arsenal had a meeting planning for the present, Trossard, Kiwior and more, and the future, and in that meeting, Declan Rice was mentioned also as a possibility, a player they really like. There's no surprise to hear why Mikel Arteta likes Rice so much. We're at that stage of the project to add the final pieces, players that raise the level of the team, to then potentially sign a Premier League captain, an England international who's thrived at the World Cup, up and soon to enter the peak of his powers. This transfer makes so much sense. But according to reports in Spain, Rice has rebuffed interest from Real Madrid, telling them that he's already given his word to Arsenal regarding a summer move. The prospect of playing in the Champions League, fighting for a Premier League title, Rice seems to be interested. But in terms of our main competition in Chelsea, according to the reliable Jakub, Declan Rice is favouring a move to Arsenal over Chelsea to work with Mikel Arteta. But with all the other targets on the market, Martin Zubimendi, Moses Caicedo and Declan Rice, but comment down below which midfielder you believe Arsenal should go and sign. But moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with the balance provider of the Arsenal midfield, our number 34 Granit Xhaka, who has officially been named the Swiss Player of the Year. Totally and utterly deserved. It has been a standout year, where Mikel Arteta has transformed him into a standout number 8. And as Xhaka says, my coach Mikel Arteta sent me here. He told me that absolutely I had to pick the prize up in person. I really appreciate that I get such freedom from the coach. Let's not forget that when Arteta arrived, Xhaka was meant to leave, stripped of the Arsenal captaincy and the Arsenal fans against him. Now those same fans adore him, and Mikel Arteta has got him firing at a different level. Now let's talk about Bukayo Saka. Scored a sensational goal against United on Sunday. He has now become the 4th player in Europe to score 7+ goals and provide 7+ assists, behind only Kvaratskhelia, Neymar and Messi. Forget about the discussions of the best young player. This guy is performing at a level where he deserves to be in conversations with the best players in the world. But talking of Arsenal wide forwards, let's discuss Gabriel Martinelli, who some people believe is out of form. But why don't we compare Martinelli to one of the more in-form left wingers in Marcus Rashford? And as you guys can see, Martinelli is still performing at such a high level, and he has set himself such a high standard that sometimes I think Arsenal fans forget. Not only is he still 21, but also without Gabriel Jesus, that left-hand side dynamic of Jesus and Martinelli was fantastic. And it's not the same with Nketiah. But what about the return of Jesus? Well, here he was on Sunday, alongside UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he was seen speaking to him and saying that he's got 4 to 5 more weeks of recovery. But right now, Arsenal fans are not talking about Jesus, and that is because the form of our number 14 Eddie Nketiah, who has stepped up in his absence. He's thriving under the pressure, and here is a fantastic comparison of Jesus versus Nketiah. And when it comes to creativity, Jesus is definitely the far better player. But when it comes to goal scoring and being alive in the box, as you can see, that's where Eddie Nketiah thrives. Arsenal have 2 strikers of different profiles, but just as effective. It's a very good combination to have. And once you see the return of Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal are going to have 2 strikers of 2 very good qualities, fit, available and firing, and defenses are going to be terrified. Moving on to Jamie Carragher, who has now predicted Arsenal to go and win the league. And he says it's not just a point gap, but it's Arsenal's performances in the big games. They aren't just getting over the line, they are streets ahead of the opposition. The Champions League will be a big factor for Man City. Mikel Arteta is winning over the doubters. And as Zinchenko says, when I signed for Arsenal, I started to speak in the dressing room saying, guys, forget about top 3 or whatever. We need to think about the title. Some of them were laughing, but no one is laughing now. A lot of fans have forgotten that at the start of the season, it was all about the Champions League. This team has surprised so many. The players have got the fans believing. This is why the signing of Zinchenko and Jesus was so important. Winners that provide belief. There are quite a few people that now believe, with Arsenal being 5 points clear with a game in hand, that they are the favourites to win the title. Do you guys agree with those comments? And more importantly, comment down below. Who has been the most important Arsenal player so far this season? But that is the video there and there. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was today's episode of the Transfers FC. And as we enter the final stages of the transfer window, Arsenal want more signings, but who are they going to sign? Let's find out in the next few days. Stay tuned, take care, and in a bit.